Let's go ahead and talk about my personal top 5 favorite fights in the year 2021. Starting off with number 5, it is Rafael Fiziev versus Bobby Green. Probably one of the most technical straight-up brawls you'll ever see in the sport, at least I feel like. I picked Fiziev to win this one, but damn dude, if I was not so impressed by Bobby's toughness and his pressure, both guys definitely fought with their egos in this one, and it literally resulted in one of the best 3-round MMA fights that we've seen in a while. Despite the fact that it was only a 3-round fight with no title implications, I think the level of craziness cannot be denied, and I think that it earned a spot as number 5 on my list. Number 4 is Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega. Insane featherweight championship fight. This fight was insane, and the third round of it might be the round of the year where we saw champion Alex in arguably the most trouble we've ever seen him so far in the UFC, arguably. I really don't understand how people can say Alex is boring, honestly. The guy is always putting the pressure on you, and Brian's face at the end of the fight is just a true testament to how much hell Alex tries to put you through. You know, I think something that's a little bit understated about Alex Volkanovski is his strength. And then when you pair that with his cardio, you know, he could just do such devastating things to you if you give him a dominant position for too long. This fight literally has everything you can want in an MMA fight, and yeah, it comes in at number 4 on my list. Number 3 on my top 5 fights of 2021 is Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Probably the best first round of the year in terms of excitement, and it actually might just be the best round of the year, period. This fight was incredible. This is one of those times where a fight of the night or fight of the year contender actually lived up to the hype and then some. And if you haven't seen this fight already, then what are you doing? You know, this is the perfect fight to introduce new MMA fans to the sport, and I think that in a lot of ways we're kind of lucky that this fight only went 3 rounds, because I'm glad that neither guy got finished in this fight. Coming in at number 2, my second favorite fight of 2021 is going to be Petr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen. So for as good as Corey is and has proven himself over the course of the last 2 years in particular, Petr was just a step or two ahead in this fight, you know, and despite Corey being as exciting as a dance partner as you can get, this really ended up becoming the Petr show. And honestly, watching him batter Corey on the feet, especially in the later half of the fight, with every technique in the book, is how this fight ends up at number 2. You know, I'm just so impressed by Petr, and I think that his last 3 performances in particular really just goes to show how good this guy is. And, you know, if it weren't for that knee against Aljamain Sterling, you know, he would just be a dominant champion right now as it stands. But that is not the topic of this video. Before I actually talk about my number 1 favorite fight of the year 2021, I actually wanted to bring up some honorable mentions. And some of these honorable mentions that come to mind are Merab Dvalishvili versus Marlon Moraes. Both guys were knocking each other down in the early stages of the fight, and then Merab ended up getting the finish. Michel Pereira versus Nico Price. This is like the first time you ever see in the UFC, at least, a backflip where the guy lands on the dude's face because he's like laying on his back, and it should have definitely been a foul, but it did not get called, amazingly. My next honorable mention is Jiří Procházka versus Dominic Reyes. What a barnstormer brawl of a fight, a high school bathroom brawl, as it were. Jose Aldo versus Rob Font is another honorable mention of mine, and then rounding out my honorable mentions is Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang, number 2. Alright, my favorite fight of the year is Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington 2. I think that when it's all said and done, this fight should be considered a perfect fight. A perfect fight, yes, I said it. An amazing storyline heading into a fight between 2 genuinely amazing fighters, both of them. Colby looked down bad after the first 2 rounds, right? Until he started piecing up Kamaru in the 3rd and 4th. I personally think Kamaru did enough to win the 5th round and thus win the fight, but man, this was just an outstanding fight between the hottest rivalry in MMA right now. And I think that with the level of technique, the championship, title on the line, the fact that it was a rematch of a closely contested fight prior, there's controversy heading into this fight. There was controversy in the fight. Did that takedown not count against Kamaru? I personally feel like it should have counted. This fight was just as amazing as the year that it happened in. And just to wrap this video up, 2021 was a fantastic year of fights. 2020 was a fantastic year of fights, and 2019 was also. So what I'm trying to say here is we are just in such an amazing time of mixed martial arts, the UFC, what have you, and hopefully 2022 can be just as good, as 2021, because if it is, then we're going to be in for a lot of fun. But something tells me that 2022 is going to be even better. And I would love to hear your guys' top 5 fights. And yeah, with all this being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow where we're going to be talking about the top 5 fighters of the year. See you guys later. Us.